Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
I'm the brother Bayan.
Brother Kalaya.
We're both brothers here from the GMS New Orleans camp, here to bring you a quick lesson. Prior to get started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who taught us the truth, peace, and salutations to the hopeful elect, Yuhakim, Yuakwa, to your brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. All right, and for this lesson here, through the Spirit, it was inspired through a quote that I seen today. And, that's how many lessons, of mine probably pop off, or, for many brothers, may see something, somebody would think that is regular, but with the spiritual eye and the spirit that the Lord gives us, you could turn into a lesson just like that. Everything can always go back to the scriptures, But this quote here it says, your potential means nothing without taking action. All right? Your potential means nothing without taking action. All right? And we know that in order to serve the Lord, serving is an action. All right? To serve your brother, serving is an action. So everything that we have to do is an action. Plain and simple. All right? You could say this and that and the third, what you want to do, how you want to please the Lord, how you want to make it to the kingdom, but do your actions follow? Okay? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, ultimately, hey, read the quote again one more time.
Your potential means nothing without taking action.
Everybody have the potential, to be something. All right, but taking action is the thing that separates everybody. Yeah. That separates, really, the elect from 2/3.
Right.
Which of course it goes into being selected from Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, right? But it's the Lord put that hunger in those people too,
right?
For the truth. But that's all I want to say.
No, you kicked me off with that James 2:17.
It's the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 17, and it reads, even so faith, if it hath not works, it is dead, being alone.
You can stop right there. So even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. All right? So, yeah, you could have all the faith in the world, all right? But truly, if you have the faith and, your actions are not following what you're doing, do you really have faith? Because if you actually have faith, you'll be doing the works that you put your mind to do. All right? But for this topic here, you'll be doing the works for the Lord.
I got something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the book of Hebrews 11:1, and I want to read it in the NLT as well. This, one that we all know, Hebrews 11:1, and it reads, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah.
Right? And this is in the NLT, and it reads, faith is the confidence that faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about things we cannot see. Right? And that's that outlier that the elect have, right? And the 2/3 don't. That's the difference between doers and sayers.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Having confidence, being confident in what you believe. All right. Most people, because let's take this in for instance. An obese person has the potential to, slim down and become healthy. Right. But what? They don't believe it.
Right.
It's a blockage in their mind.
Yeah.
And that was probably the best example I could think of at this present moment. But
that's right on though.
You got it out.
Yeah, it's right on. Because if you was a goddamn fat,
yeah,
if you are obese in any type of way, if you're not taking the action to lose that weight, it clearly means that you don't believe that you could do it.
That's right.
Because if you believe you could do something, you're going to do it. If I believe that I could jump over this obstacle that I have in front of me, I can do it, and I can say that, just based off of, workouts and stuff that I do at the gym. If you go to the just an example, they have a block or something that I need to jump up on, you know. But if I sit there and if I'm scared that I'm going to trip and fall, my body is hesitant of jumping because I don't want to fall. I don't want to fail. All right. But once I make the jump and I get on top of it, after that point, I can constantly jump back on because now I know on my mind that I can do it. I can believe.
I got another one for you real quick.
Come on.
Just going into that, not having confidence in this thing. You know, that's why brothers always, even in these different conference calls, the things that we do behind the scenes, right? Videos, even simple dialogue. I seen you was talking to the brother earlier, Ryan. That builds your confidence, right? Because the truth always, everything is, like you say, going to relate back to the truth in some form or fashion.
Right.
We could be talking about our day and what? Scripture's going to come out.
Right.
You know, and all of these things reassure you of what you believe, which ultimately builds your what? Your confidence.
If I could say real quick, you know, you got to say it, you know, faith, your confidence coincides with faith.
Yep.
It's a synonym to each other, you know, but you got it.
Kind. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and 12. And it reads, "For fear is nothing else but the betraying of the succor which reason offereth." Okay. Verse 13, it says, "And the expectation from within being less, counted the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment." All right. So ultimately, right, fear is just is you're betraying the thing in which you believe in or which you have confidence in. That's all it is. Okay? And that's why Yahweh always said what? Fear not.
Right.
You know, Yahweh always said this to you know, the men of old. Fear not. Fear not. Don't betray, all right, your faith, basically.
All right. You know, and adding to it, you know, and on the other side of what he'll tell you, you know, have faith in this. Have faith in that. You know, have confidence, in other words. Have confidence in this and that and the third. You're going to get past it. All right? The Lord literally told you, man, we can move mountains. You know, if you had faith. If you had faith that you could do it, you can do, you know, the things that the Lord is, you know, that he can. You know, obviously not right now in these bodies, but, you know, once our bodies are transformed and our faith is at that max level, you know, that's how we're going to be, you know, have those powers, you know, to do those works, you know.
Now I'll jump back to that James for you.
Kind of, real quick, I want to, because there was a quote I wanted to come out before that, but, you know, it's all going to wrap through in the spirit. It's the saying in the world, actions speak louder than words. All right, it says the saying, in the AI overview, it says the saying, action speaks louder than words, means that what people do is more important and a better indicator of their true character and intentions than what they say. All right, demonstrating true character, someone might say they are kind, but but it is their actions, like volunteering or helping others, that prove they are truly kind. Following through, this idiom often used when someone makes a promises they don't keep. For example, if a coworker constantly says they will finish a project next week but never does, their actions show they are not reliable, regardless of their words. All right, measuring intent. People's true intentions are revealed by their patterns of behavior rather than their explanations, making it easier to make decisions with clarity and set boundaries. All right, you can know a lot about a man if you know. And crazy enough, we was going into last night, you know, when the brothers brought out, you know, your word, you know, the value of your word, you know, and the mafia saying that, well, probably not mafia, but Tony Montana and Scarface, you know, all I have in this world is my balls and my word, you know. So if you don't have those, if you don't have, you know, the works behind your word, it doesn't equal to nothing.
God, your word is valueless. It's invaluable. You know?
Yeah. And then the last one, personal accountability. The phrase also applies to oneself. It's easy to say you want to change or be better, which you was going into with the fact. But change only happens through consistent action. You know? But we can get back to that James.
This is the book of James. Wait, real quick, before we, because this just hit me, you know, when you see a brother who's constantly doing the work, he's constantly, producing, all right, on all levels, his reading, his videos, his charity, all right, constantly minimizing his time in the world and things of that nature, that really shows that brother believed.
Right.
Because the latter end or whatever that was you was just reading, it said, go read that latter part of it.
Personal accountability. It says the phrase also applies to oneself. It's easy to say what you want to change or be better, but change only happens through consistent action.
Right. That's that consistent action. All right. That's what determines. Your what the title was again? Your potential.
Yeah, your potential means nothing without taking action.
Right. Hey, and that's what allows you to reach your potential. Constant action, man. That's how you can tell if a brother have faith or not.
Right.
If his works, all right, his reputation that he builds within the ministry, is aligned with the things that he's doing.
Yeah.
But I'll jump back to that James. Book of James, chapter 2 and 17 again, and it reads, even so faith, if it had not works, it is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
I will show thee my faith by my works. All right. That's the only way that you can truly show your faith. All right. The Lord is not about lip service, and neither are his men. You're not going to sit here and give us broken promises. All right. Because again, what the whole reason why we're even in this thing is behind the promises that the Lord has promised us, and why the Lord is not the one to break his promise, so why would we abide or be around anybody who can't keep their promises, who can't keep their word, all right, who can't put the action behind, what they're saying, that it really, it'll destroy, what I'm trying to say, destroy the image. It'll destroy your image in a sense, of being that person that's not reliable, that's basically a liar at the end of the day. You don't want that person around in any type of way. How much more of receiving a crown? You think the Lord wants you to get a crown if you can't keep your word, and you can't show your works,
It ultimately go back to being a man.
Being a man, yeah.
Men do everything this brother was saying. All right, you have to, when you say something, you do it, and there's no gray area. All right, the excuses can only go as far as you can toss it. All right, because as men, we know what it takes to we understand the ways of life and things of that nature. Just going back to saying something and not doing it. There's ways, all right, to basically handle that situation.
Right.
And that's what shows, who the real men are, man. If you can't make it, hey, and you sincerely said that you would, okay, hey, take the proper precautions, all right, to let a brother know, and not to make it that, but just showing that there's ways, all right, to address that particular situation, man. Because it'll negatively affect your reputation.
Yeah, crazy enough, I know for a fact, I don't want to paraphrase it, and it slips my mind exactly where it's at, but it's either in Sirach or Wisdom of Solomon that it goes exactly into keeping your word and the value that your word holds. Slightly of it slipping my mind, but if I actually do my search, I'll definitely find it. And then I most likely I'm gonna post it in the description, after the video, or in the comment section, whatever. But I know it's definitely it just slipped my mind. But it fits.
Verse 19.
Yeah, you can read all the way to 20.
Back in James 2 and 19, and it reads, thou believest that there is one power, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead?
Yeah, faith without works is dead.
Yep.
Again, they work hand in hand. So if you don't have one, you really don't have none. You know, that's plain and simple. You know, you can say it, but it doesn't mean that it's true. All right.
Now you gotta let me go down to verse 22.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, verse 21, was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son up to the altar, seeing thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. Just showing that they were both perfected within each other. The works perfected the faith, and his faith perfected the works. They worked simultaneously within the righteous, man.
Yeah. And it was nothing but a test ultimately.
Yep.
Because, you know, at the end of the end of that whole entire situation, you know, I believe it was an angel that came and told, you know, Abraham, nah, don't kill Isaac. You know, but Isaac having the faith in, you know, it's like Abraham having the faith in the Lord was actually about to go through and killing his son Isaac. You know, if the Lord said it, let it be done. All right, we gonna go handle that. And at the end of it, you know, the Lord was like, well, hey, you showed me enough. You was about to kill your son because I told you to do so. You know, and hey, I respect you even more now. You know, pretty much. In other words, not exactly the words of the Lord, but you know, what was the moral of that situation?
And ultimately, the Lord knew his potential, just like the Lord knew all of our potential. That's why this process. This is a building process. It's almost like we're working out, spiritually working out for what? For the debut, you know, for the big fight.
Yeah,
that's what we you know, in a spiritual sense, not an actual fight. Because Jacob be a jackass and think, you know, we're preparing. Nah, it ain't that. I got something for you right quick.
You got it.
2 Ezra 9:7, and it says, and every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby he believed. You see, so showing you, especially in these times, okay, to reach our full potential, we have to have, and really our full potential coincides with salvation, and the promises, man. Once we reach our full potential, the Lord, and that's why we say hopefully elect, because we pray that the Lord choose us. We've been called, but we're praying that we've been chosen to reach our full potential. Because we're given the efforts to reach it. But it said, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works by faith whereby ye believe. You know, what you got it,
you can jump to that first.
James 1 and 22.
Yeah.
God, this is the book of James 1, verse 22, and it reads, but be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
You're deceiving your own self, you know, if you're just being,
right,
you know, just a hearer of the word. All right. You know, and that's why brothers also preach, you know, to you keyboard warriors. You know, you can't just be behind the camera. You know, you can't on the other side of the camera, you know, on your phone or your laptop all day without, you know, actually coming and putting the work in, you know, the groundwork, you know, what it says in Romans, you know, making your body a living sacrifice.
That's right.
You know, I believe Romans 12:1, I believe, you know, but, you know, it's action, you know. Matter of fact, get that real quick. I got it. I got to get to it. Just Romans 12:1, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is your reasonable service. You know, and if you look throughout that precept, is nothing but verbs and actions that is asking you to do. All right, present your bodies a living sacrifice. All right. So the only way you can present your body as a living sacrifice is actually going about and doing the things to make your body a living sacrifice. You know, it's not complicated. You know, but continue on in James.
James 1 and 23, and it reads, for if any be an hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
So you seeing your face in the glass, in the mirror, all right, and you walk away and you forget what you seen.
Yeah.
All right. So you say you believe that what you are that the things are out and about. You believe the scriptures, you believe in the Lord, but you walk away and don't do anything about it.
God.
You don't put any action in front of it. So that's a good analogy. That go hand in hand. Like, how can you literally just looked at yourself in the mirror? Like, how can you forget that? All right. But the same thing with the hearing the word and not doing. Kind of talking in circles, but you get the point. But hit that Titus for me. Oh, so like one more. Go.
Yeah. I was about to say verse 25.
Yeah.
It reads, James 1:25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deeds.
So, taking the action behind it. This man should be blessed in his deeds. Not being a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work.
Yep.
All right. But Titus 1:16, Baba Kashah.
Kind of saliva, because this Bible had an indentation. Yeah, it is. You said 1:16.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 16, and it reads, they profess to know Yahweh, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work a reprobate.
All right, so there's people like that out here. All right, that they profess that they know Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but in their works they deny him. All right, so that's clearly a strike at your faith, and your works that you're not doing. All right. Again, the Lord is not about lip service, man. You can sit here and talk about this, and that, and the third, but if you're not doing it, man, it holds no value at all. All right. And the Lord goes on to describe it as it being abominable, disobedient, in every good work, a reprobate. All right. So you can clearly see that the Lord don't like it. He don't enjoy it. All right. He'll definitely throw things at your name right now, as it's saying, behind not putting an action behind the things that you're supposed to be doing, But real quick one, Romans 12:11, being not slothful in business, fervent in spirit. It's like it might be a little bit more to get in there. Romans 12:10 probably.
Yeah, get 11. You want me to grab it?
I'm on it. Yeah. It's like, it wasn't. This is Romans 12:11. It says, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. All right. So we can't be slothful in this thing either. Okay. Fervent in the spirit, serving the Lord. All right. You got to be hot. You got to have that heat. And then boom, it just hit me.
Let's get into Revelation.
What's the is that the lukewarm?
Yeah.
Con.
I got it right here.
You got it.
So the book of Revelations, chapter 3, and verse, I'm going to start at 15. And it reads, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather, slacking. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
Yeah, if you're just that lukewarm, if you have that lukewarm spirit on you, the Lord don't even want no dealings with that.
Yep.
So let alone, you're not hot, all right? You cold or you lukewarm. Basically, the Lord don't want it. All right, you got to be fervent. You got to be hot. You got to be ready to roll in the spirit.
Because when you think about it, bro, and then it really be some off shit, right? That these other nations will do, eating fucking room temperature food or some shit like that.
Right.
Either food is supposed to be hot or cold.
Right.
Otherwise, it's a displeasurable experience.
Yeah, eating raw food, eating raw, cold fucking sushi and shit. You know, Jake used to. I can't lie, Jake used to eat that shit in the world, but you know, looking back, man, that shit is bugged out as a motherfucker.
But even then, you know, cause ain't nothing wrong with a little avocado roll.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying for the record. Yeah. You know, that has to be cold.
Right.
Don't bring they don't bring that out lukewarm, cause that ain't how it's supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit, Jake don't want no lukewarm chicken.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on.
Let me see. Brother Romans, Hebrews 6
Gun.
and 10, but the point is in 11 and 12.
Gotcha. Somebody could get to still navigating through this joker. Hebrews 6 and 10.
Yep.
Right. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 6 and verse 10, and it reads, "For Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister."
So it says, "For Yahweh Shah is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love." All right? But he damn well, you know, look over, you know, just that lip service though. You know, if you just gonna say that you're gonna do it, the Lord already know in your heart if you're gonna do it or if you're not gonna do it. You know, first and foremost, let's put that out there. You know, but again, if you go ahead and you execute, the Lord is not going to forget it. All right, so that holds a lot of weight and value. You know, that should motivate you to work harder. You know, because the Lord is not going to forget the work, the action that you're doing.
And when you read it in the NLT, it says, he will not forget how hard you have worked for him. You know, just showing that he's looking for that hard work, not slothful work, man.
Right.
Reaching your full potential. All right.
You could read all the way through from 11 and 12.
Verse 11, Hebrews 6 and 11, and it reads, "And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises."
So through that hard work, through that hard work, man, not being slothful, all right, but having the faith and the works is waiting for you. You're going to inherit promises, all right, from Yahweh Shah, man. And that's plain and simple, man. You know, you don't really have to even think about that too much. You know, it's the action is always going to execute results.
Yep.
All right. So once you get those results, you know the results here is the kingdom, man. The kingdom, the new bodies. You know, being of the hopeful elect, being of one of those judges. Of the 144,000, you know. But the last one I'm gonna end off with is St. Luke, chapter 11 and 9.
11.
Yeah.
It's the book of St. Luke, chapter 11, in verse 9, and it reads, "And I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you."
It says, ask, all right, and it shall be given unto you. And seek, and you shall find. All right? So you're not going to get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding without seeking it. All right? You have to seek it. All right? And also, at the beginning, it says that you have to ask. All right, so that's why we're given the names, you know, through the Hebrew, you know, to call on to the Lord, pray to the Lord, all right, to ask for these things, you know, that we desire, you know, and, you know, what's good for us to receive here, all right, but again, you have to seek it, all right, seeking is an action, all right.
Shit, scriptures tell you what, make your calling and election sure.
Yep.
To make is a verb,
yep.
Right? That's an action that must be done.
Yep.
All right. So by making doing, all right, making your calling and election sure, you ultimately chasing down your potential.
Right.
It's an active chase. Your potential is what? Like you mentioned, the crowns, the kingdom, dominion, all right? Possibly becoming one of the 144,000 judges, man.
Yeah.
You know, those new bodies, all of those are the potential of the elect,
Yeah.
but you have to be actively chasing it.
Continue on.
And it reads, verse 10, for everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened.
You can keep reading all the way to 13.
For everyone, it's like verse 11, if a son shall ask bread of any of you that is a father, will he give him a stone? Question mark. Or if he ask a fish, will he for a fish give him a serpent?
Mm-hmm.
Or if he shall ask an egg, will he offer him a scorpion? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to them that ask him? Question mark.
Yeah. So how much more? All right. If you asking the Lord for the Holy Spirit, you know, to have again this understanding, you know, the Lord's going to give it to you. All right. But again, it starts with seeking and having the action behind it. All right. So all of these things in between from verse 11 and 12, you know, that's just really not getting what you asked for. All right. But we know that the Lord is going to give us, you know, everything that we need, you know, as long as we do the work, man. And that's plain and simple. You know, we do these things, and he's a rewarder. And what is it? The Lord is a rewarder for those who diligently seek him. All right. So I think that was pretty much it, man. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, real quick, you know, because Jacob be out here asking for something and ain't ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you asking for these different things to be added unto you spiritually, right? Make sure you ask that the Lord make you ready too. You know, ask the Lord that it be in due season. Okay, when you're basically ready to accept it, because sometimes we ask for things and ultimately it's on the Lord's time, right? We know that. But you know, Jake be going through the fire, and then Jake in the middle of the night going through the fire, right, reviewing the day or whatever it may be, it'd be like, damn, 2 months ago, you know, at the Day of Atonement, man, I asked at the Passover, I asked the Lord for more faith, or you know, whatever the case may be, whatever Jake asked for, and then you know, be like, damn, I ain't know it was gonna come like this. So you make sure you ask the Lord that you're ready for it too. You know, but that's all I had.
So again, your potential means nothing without taking action, man. So we pray that this lesson was edifying. Trying to get out of here, want to give infinite honors and prayers to
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who taught us the truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You are coming, you are co-authors, you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.